In today's episode, we'll learn how to work with icons in Flutter. Instead of using your image as we did in the previous video to add icon or to display an image as an icon, you can use icon class in Flutter. Flutter comes with a list of icons, but to be able to use that, you have to come right here inside of your pub specs and make sure use material design is set to true to be able to have access to the icons. So for this video, I want to do something different. We'll create a new class for our widget, and then we call this widget inside of the center widget. To do that, we can create a subfolder inside of this lib. Let's call the subfolder widgets. We'll create all the widgets that are common between pages. So inside of this widget folder, we create all the widget class that are common between pages inside of our app. So double click, new file, let's call this icon underscore widget dot dart. Enter, and then you can use STL and you select stateless widget. Start typing icon and you will see icon widget. Now instead of returning this placeholder, I want to return an icon. For that, I can use the icon class. If you hover over it, you will see the first class is the icon data. This is the default class for the icons. You can go in Flutter and see names for your icons. We can also specify the size. This will define the width and the height for your icon, the fill, the weight, the grade, the color, the semantic label, text direction, and so on. So let's define an icon. You can use the icons class. When you use the dot, you have a list of options. Let's select one icon. Let's use the clock. Save. And then let's provide the size property. This will be a double. As I said again, this value will be for the width and the height. Let's say 44.0. And also let's define the color for our widget. Let's use the blue color. So colors class, colors class dot, let's use the blue accent. Now what we need to do is call this widget class inside of our home.dart. Come right here in this child. You can delete everything. Just paste the name of your class, use the parentheses, and then click on this yellow bolt to import this widget. Give it a comma, save everything, and you will see this is the icon that we selected. We can also change the icon. Let's use the Flutter dash, save everything, and you have your icon displaying right here. You can also increase or decrease the width. Let's say size will be 500. This is the huge one. Let's change it for 250. Save it. Another example, if you come right here inside of your app bar, and we'll see right here we have the leading property. You can specify an icon for that. So let's do this. You can come right here and you can use the leading, and then you can call again the icons class, and then icons dot, let's use now the list. Save everything and you will see the icon right here. You can also specify the size, the color, and all the properties that you saw inside of this icon widget. So this is it for this video. This is how you can work with icons in Flutter. Again, you have to make sure you are using right here, use material design with the value of true. This will give you access to the icons class. Then you call your icon widget and then you provide the name for your widget. We can also change this widget right here. Let's call this final, and then icons data icon, give it a semicolon and give it a comma right here, and let's use required and then this dot icon, and then we have to come now, instead of returning this icon right here, we just call the icon inside of this widget right here. And now we have to come right here in the icon widget, and now we have to define our icon. Just paste this class right here, save everything, and you will see this will still work. Now if we change the icon, let's say right here to lock, save, and you will see now we have a lock icon displaying. And what I just did right here, it's called dependency injection. This is a pattern that we'll be using to develop our application. When we need a common widget and we need to provide some data, we can use dependency injection to insert the data inside of our widget. So this is it for this video. If you have any question, leave a comment. I'll reply to you as soon as possible. And stay tuned for another Flutter tutorial episode. See you on the next one.